Nintendo Switch. Let me show you what's going on. I've already looked at the port. The port looks fine. So we're going to plug power on. We're looking on the meter on the left hand side of your screen. And we're getting an immediate 0.08 draw. This is happening on both sides. So no power. This immediately makes me think M92T36, but you never know. There could be some liquid damage or something else causing an issue. We won't know until we get it apart enough to do some testing. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, we have it apart to do enough to do some testing. So we will go through our normal routine. Switch over to microscope. And we will begin our testing around the M92T36. First capacitor we're going to test goes through the M92T36 to the Pi 3 USB chip on the other side. And the line we don't want shorted to ground is the line going to the M92T36, and it appears to be okay. And now we're going to be testing, just following the lines, we'll be testing the sides of the capacitor going to the chip. Alright, we do have one shorted line on this one. And we have another short line on this one. Okay, so this capacitor right here has two lines going to the chips, so one line will always be ground. Alright, and our CPU cap seems okay. That's a good thing. Alright, let's check around our MOSFETs and check our low filter. Seems okay. Check our invincible fuse. Invincible fuse is still being invincible. Now we're going to check these test pads right here. None of them should have a pathway to ground. And surprisingly, none of them do, considering the M92T36 is short on several caps. It's kind of different. Okay, let's test our coil and then test our capacitors. Everything seems alright around the BQ24193. Very good. Okay, so we know we have a bad M92T36, which we kind of suspected from the current draw. We will have to disassemble entirely, remove the chip, put another one on, test to make sure our shorts are relieved, and go from there. Okay, we are disassembled enough to, well, we're disassembled entirely so that we can deal with this chip. Before I can do that, I should throw up my temperatures, or expected temperatures for this job, while I turn my equipment on. As always, subject to change if the job changes, but I don't foresee that happening on this one. Switch you back to microscope. Let's get this chip off. Okay, I normally just would go ahead and quickly swap another one in, but I'm seeing a bunch of crap around these pads, so I want to do a clean off first. Looks like some thermal compound has gotten in there, and definitely don't need that under the chip. Remove the heat, press, then bring the heat back. That way it doesn't slide off on you. Alignment looks good. That side as well. Okay. And okay. Oops, I accidentally hit that capacitor there. Okay, and our shorts appear to be relieved. And we don't have any new ones. Let's go ahead and do the test pads too. Okay, everything looks good. I'm going to clean off real quick, and then we'll come back for a test. Okay, we're cleaned off and prepared to do a test. So we'll do a power test with the USB-C first. Looking on the left-hand side. That's a little bit odd. Could just be playing up with the PSU. Yeah, I want to see that drop, not just stick at 0.2. Alright, let's try the battery squid OEM charger to activate. Let's see if it's booting. Sure is acting like we're having another problem. Nah, I want to see that current going up. Okay, let's do some more looking around. I don't see anything. Test around our Pi 3 USB. I'll switch you over to microscope for this. Make sure these are not giving us continuity side to side. I just checked for ground, shorts to ground as well. And let's check our big cat. Yeah, seems okay. And we're in the mega ohm range. That could be bad. Let's see what it does with the charge battery. Again, looking on the left. Okay, so we're stuck at 0.47. That is telling me hopefully it's a Pi 3 USB issue. If it's not, then it's going to be eMMC or APU, which will suck. But we'll try a Pi. Okay, just real quick, I did hook my battery back up to it, and I hooked it up to the computer, and we are not getting an RCM mode reading, so at least there's that. Okay, now we're going to go for the Pi 3 USB. You might be asking yourself why I think it's Pi 3 USB. You can go back in my video catalog and you'll see that on occasion you get lucky with the 0.47 draw. No power. Even though it doesn't test bad, there's no indication of a short. It can still go bad. Now I started taking some ohm readings around the chip as well. Make sure the solder grabs it before you let go. Align, remove the heat, let it dry a little bit, then press. Alignment looks good, we're flat on the board. Now it's had a minute to cool off. I'd like to take another reading on these test points. particularly these. Okay, so you can see it's dropped. We were getting mega ohm readings on the last one, and now it's like 113K. So maybe that's an indicator that the other chip was bad. I've started doing these on the last couple. Okay, let's see what it's doing now. It's still being weird. Don't mind it going up to that current, but I don't like it just sticking there. But before we draw conclusions, let's try with the battery squid. Activate with the OEM. And it's still hanging. Yeah, still hanging. We'll plug in a battery. And then plug in the power again. I bet we're still stuck on 0.47. Yeah, still stuck on 0.47. So unfortunately, I think this is a case of either dead EMC or APU, though it's not, you know, giving us an indication on the APU capacitor that we'd expect if it was short APU, but I think this one's toast, unfortunately. So I've actually decided to look at this a little more. The only thing I have left in the queue is a liquid damage Series S, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a optimistic type thing. So you know what, I want to know if I actually have a batch of bad Pi 3 USBs that are making me think these switches are dead. I'm gonna try, I may try several Pi chips on this to see, but first thing I gotta do is I gotta switch back to a good M92 T36 because I took it off. I was about to wrap it up, but I put their Pi back on, so I'll try another Pi from mine. Check her work. Check our M92 as well. Alright. Yeah, straight to 3.2. Doesn't look good. That's still not typical. Yeah, it shouldn't be hanging like that. Oh wait, it's going up. Start that over. Starting out high, but it is going up like it's booting. Interesting. And grab my battery. Let's watch the meter. Now it's stuck on 0.47 just like it was before. Now nothing. Whoa, hello, fast charging. What? That's booting. Okay. Okay. So, maybe I have bad batch of Pi 3 USBs, or had a bad couple. Okay, interesting. Okay, I will clean this off screen. I will put it back in the housing and we'll test again. Okay, we're back. Ready to try a test with my battery. A charged battery. See what this thing does. Meter on PSU meter on the far left. Okay, full battery symbol. And now we're fast charging. And we're back up and running. Excellent. Okay, so I was almost fooled into thinking this thing was dead by a bad part. But it looks like we're back up and running on this one. I will get it back together, let it charge. We'll test everything, make sure everything's working, dock and all that. So, alright, we'll be back. Okay, anytime I work with Pi 3 USB, the first thing I want to check is docking. And we are docking fine, so that appears to be working good. Now we'll let it charge a little longer and perform the other tests, but yeah, docking is paramount importance before I actually reassemble this thing entirely. Okay, let's perform the rest of the testing. As you can see, it's charging both Joy-Cons. These are my Joy-Cons we're testing with. And as you can see down in the USB meter section, we are drawing 15 volts at 1 amp, fast charging. That's good. Let's check our internet settings. It was on airplane mode, but I want to check and make sure everything is working, including Bluetooth. Alright, let's make sure we're picking up our network. And we're picking up our networks. That's good. I'm going to detach my Joy-Con, and we are working. Okay, grab my game. System update is required to use this game, but it is seeing it. Okay, that's really it for this one. In summary, we had Nintendo Switch, no power. It was drawing 0.08 the minute we plugged it into the PSU, both sides. We pulled it apart. We found multiple shorted capacitors around M92T36. We changed the M92T36 and then performed a test, and we were hanging on the PSU and the battery squid. It was a bit unusual. It looked like it was stuck in a state of some sort. We attempted a Pi 3 USB change. Well, actually, hold on. We hooked up my battery and we found out we were drawing 0.47 amps. Now that can be either Pi 3 USB or something more catastrophic. We were crossing our fingers that was Pi 3 USB. We attempted one Pi 3 USB change and it didn't solve the issue. And at that moment I was pretty convinced we were in a catastrophic state. So I was about to give up on it, but I decided, you know what, I only have one other repair and it's not a likely fix, and it could wait till tomorrow. So I decided, you know what, I need to see if some of these chips I have in this batch of Pi 3 USBs are bad, and it turns out the chip I used on here was bad. So I had already pulled my M92T36 off as well as the Pi 3 USB, but I went ahead and put it back on and then put another Pi 3 USB chip on, and we're back up and running. Now I do need to let it charge for a while, make sure we don't enter in some weird state at some point, but I'm hopeful at this point that it's going to continue working. Bad parts make bad conclusions. Anyway, that's all for this one. If you have any questions about the equipment I use in this video, take a look in the description below. They're all Amazon linked down there. Amazon affiliate linked. So if you click on any of those links and buy anything during that session, it doesn't have to be one of those tools. A small portion of that purchase will go to help the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave it in the description below. I'll do my best to answer them, or direct you somewhere that can answer them. There are also some other support links down there if you would rather take advantage of those. Either way, much appreciated. If you like the video, hit the like button, and if you want to see more videos like it, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You'll know when I post videos. That's really all I had to ask of you. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one.